Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Hey, we are back live! Welcome everybody to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. How are you all doing lately, everyone? I hope you had a good time, and I hope you had a nice little break at the start of this year. I know things have definitely been better for me. Things have been a lot more calm, things rolling along as usual, but hey, I've been feeling great. But let me tell you, folks, on today's episode, we got something incredible. We are going to have quite a fun time because the stories that we have for you today, oh boy, are they gonna be big? Are they gonna be wild? And this is going to all accumulate for one unforgettable episode. Not only are we going to be looking into some big name trailers and one last minute one that has a lot of people talking, but at the same time, we are also going to be we're going to go and look at some unusual trailer announcements, but at the not trailer announcements, some movie announcements of some animated films with some strange concepts, and of course, the cream of the crop, the biggest moment of every award season, and now the time has come. And, there is, I noticed a little bit of a technical error. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the fridge is going on with the chat wall, because, it seems, well, at least, on the visual side of things, the chat wall seems to be a little bit, empty. I know it's still going on. In fact, I do have, a separate thing that shows that there is a chat wall, it's still happening, but I don't know, there seems to be a little bit of a technical issue that I have no idea what's going on with my, with my recording system, or my streaming recording system. I don't know what the fridge is going on. I don't know what's happening, but I'll do the best I can to try to work with it, I know, I do have the chat wall on the side. I'll bring it up, I'll try to fix it later to know what the fridge is happening, why is it empty, but either way, well, I'll do the best I can to work with it, and hey, we'll still have a fun time. So with that said, I would like to know for the chat wall, are you all ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, folks. Are we all prepared for this? Let's see. Hey, all right, this can work. All right, you see, this is working out. This is fine. That's great to see. Oh boy, there's even some notifications that are not working out. I don't know what the fridge is happening, but it seems to be getting a little bit lazy. But hey, I'll try to figure something out. Hopefully something can work. But hey, you know what? Well, I see everyone's prepared, so let's not waste any time. So with that said, I believe it is now time that we shall go and get things started. And with our first story that we have, well, our first couple of stories, we are going to be looking into some trailers. And the first one that I have is going to be regarding a series in which the more that we hear about it, the more anticipation it builds up. And the more that people are just really excited for this. And I mean, considering that we've already heard of the casting, and then we've seen some images and even a little bit of a teaser trailer, but now we got our first true taste of a full-on trailer, giving us a better example of what this show is going to be when it's going to be coming out in the next few weeks. So with that said, let's go and begin this by looking into our first story by checking out the trailer for the upcoming Netflix live-action series of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The Fire Nation is embarked on a dark path.
And that is Avatar: The Last Airbender, or the live-action series that will be airing on Netflix on February 22nd. Now, we've already talked about a few times regarding Avatar: The Last Airbender, or at least this series in particular, where we took a look at the trailer, and so far, it's been pretty impressive so far. It looks like it might be something that could live up to the hype, or at least like be somewhere, maybe not necessarily on par, but something that could like really pay respects to what we know and love about the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series. And in that first teaser trailer, we've seen how the visuals are just going to be extraordinary. We saw how the visual effects, the CG and all that kind of stuff, like it really shows how like all the nations are just going to be really brought to life in a very expensive way that looks like it comes from like this high budgeted motion picture, but now it's going to be in a long form with this entire series that will be going on. So already that trailer from before, it left us with a good first impression, or at least how it is with most people on the internet. But now with this new trailer, showing a lot more of what it is offering, it really primarily built up on what we already liked from the first trailer, but now like really grew it to another level, where not only do they show us more of the characters who are going to be presented in there, like now they do have more characters that are featured, especially with Katara, Sokka, Aang, and then you also got Zuko and Uncle Iroh, and a few others as well. But probably one thing that really did stand out is the animals. Like, we see a lot of the creatures that have showed up. Like, we already got like a few example, like like we got this beast, for example, and that's like another factor in terms of the world building of Avatar, because I know that in there's like a lot of these hybrid animals. It's very rare that you would have like just a single particular animal. Like, you always got like those turtle ducks, or you got like the polar bear dog, or actually like one of the best jokes in the show is at one point when there's like this bear, and that's all it is. It's like, is it not like a duck bear, or is it not a wolf bear? No, it's just a bear. And they were just so perplexed by it. So honestly, I love that little tongue-in-cheek thing. So yeah, like already they are showing many of the different creatures that are also going to be there. But of course, the main thing that really does stand out with this is the fact that they are emphasizing a lot more on the action. That you do see a lot of moments where you see the characters in battle, and especially a lot of their bending power. Like, in this part where they say it's like the most replayed, it shows that like they are using the most of their bending abilities, like earth bending, air bending, water bending, fire bending. Like, they are going to emphasize that to the max. This ain't like a little choreography thing in order to pick up one little rock like in the M. Night Shyamalan movie. No. Like, when they are bending, they are gonna bend. And my God, like already a lot of the scenes that they are presenting us here, they are gonna be intense, especially the big moment where you see Aang, who's just glowing and showing his true powers as the Avatar. Like, that let's be honest, like that moment was pretty awesome. That was a great scene right there. But I am not gonna lie, honestly, I do feel like there is one thing that I feel like I didn't get as much, like that I was hoping that we would see a lot more of, and that is regarding the characters themselves and the humor that they could go and deliver. Now, it is true that in here we do get a small taste of it, primarily coming from Sokka himself. And there was one scene that I will admit they actually recreated from the show, but it honestly is really cute, like this part right over here.
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
Like, I will say that from here, this interpretation of Sokka is a lot more subdued, you know? Like, he isn't as goofy, or he isn't as theatrical, I guess is the best way to put it, than in the animated version. But like that hint of that the smart aleckiness of Sokka is still prominently there. And there are like a few cute little moments that they do show in this trailer. For the most part, it looks like it is taking itself a little bit more seriously than the original animated version, but still, like, at least it does promise that it is going to deliver in some of the comedy. And personally, like, that's one thing, like, I've already mentioned this before the last time we talked about Avatar: The Last Airbender, or the Netflix series in particular. One thing that I am going to keep an eye out more for is going to be, how are they going to develop the characters and how are they going to handle the humor? Because already, like, with the trailers that we have seen, they've already more than proven how the action is going to be worth it to go and watch this show. They're going to present how all the action scenes and all the bending and the visual effects, like, they are really going to be top notch, and they look like they are going to make it a worthy remake of the original Avatar series. So that right there, I have no concerns about. But what I want to know is, how are they going to handle the personalities? How are they going to handle the humor? Because for the most part, one thing that it does feel a bit disappointing is the fact that they don't necessarily show a whole lot of the personalities that we really do know. Like, a lot of it really is just saying that, hey, we do see Sokka is here, we see Katara is here, we do see, we do see Uncle Iroh and Zuko are here as well. Like, they're saying that they're here, but we really want to feel the personalities, you know? Like, we don't even get much of the wisdom of Uncle Iroh. Like, yeah, we do get, like, a bit of his firebending powers, but that's pretty much it. Like, we don't get, the wisdom, the charm of Uncle Iroh, which I was hoping that maybe we could see a little bit, but I don't know. But, like, this is not saying that there isn't going to be any in this particular series. It's just something that I was hoping maybe we would get a lot more in this trailer in particular, but I guess, I don't know, like, if they know what they're doing, if they are going to be supplying some comedy, then, I don't know, maybe they're just saving it for when the show does come out. And, I mean, like, I don't doubt it. I'm sure there is. In fact, the original voice of the Cabbage Guy, apparently he's going to be reprising his role in the show, where now he's also going to be the live action version. So, like, we know the comedy is going to be in there, we just don't know where it is just yet. And that is going to be something that I personally cannot wait to go and see. But I would say overall, with this entire series, or with the trailer that we have, it's already promising that it's going to get better and better and better, and that really this is going to be something that they'll keep an eye on. That yes, there is a solid chance right now that maybe they are going to make Lightning Strike twice, where they have succeeded with the One Piece live action series, they could do that again, but with Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I know that there's a lot of anticipation, there was a lot of hype, and they have to go and, like, channel an extremely high standard, but so far with what they are showing in the trailers, and especially with the visual effects, with the action that they are presenting, it could legitimately be met. So, and as an Avatar fan myself, of course, I'm definitely optimistic with what this series has in store. So again, if you are excited for the live action Avatar series, then keep in mind it will be coming out on Netflix starting, or at least maybe all the episodes, or all the episodes of season 1, on February 22nd. Alright, so with that said, I would like to go to the chat wall, which now I gotta bring over here, and I gotta ask you all, what do you think about the live action Avatar series trailer? Did you guys enjoy it? Do you feel like it's a little bit iffy? Do you have any concerns? Let me know your thoughts on this. Let's see, what comments do we have here. Hold on a sec. Let me just shrink it up so that it's easier to control. So, hold on a sec. I know it sucks that I don't have, like, the chat wall, like, where it usually is, but for now, like, maybe during the break I'll try to go and fix it. But anyways, it looks like someone might be delivering some breaking news. Just want to double check on something. Apparently someone is saying that, apparently Dog Man from DreamWorks, based on the book by Captain Underpants creator Dave Pilkey, has just been announced to be released on January 31st, 2025, with the source being on deadline. Oh, interesting. Okay, I mean, I actually really enjoyed the first Captain Underpants movie, so honestly, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out on that. All right, anyways, let's go back to the chat wall here. Let's see. Hell yeah, this actually looks fantastic. The visual effects look top-notch. It looks really faithful to the original series. Sokka's personality is pitch perfect, and I didn't ask for much from this series, but I'm just glad they pronounce Aang right. I'm gonna give this a go, though I won't expect it to outshine the original, but then again, what can? My one demand here is just have an episode focus on the Cabbage Guy. The show would fall apart without him. Cabbage mythos must be told. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. First of all, we gotta make sure the series is right. Like, I would say if they are gonna go and have a Cabbage Guy-centric episode, save that for season 2. Like, we need to trust that they can get the basics of Avatar correct first, we could go and focus on developing the Cabbage Guy. Okay, anyways, let's see what else we got here. Sick dude, y'all! Trailer in the hype. This trailer is so epic. The action scenes are awesome. The story looks kind of the same as the animated series, but different. And seeing the landscape in live action looks interesting. But I am curious of how the series is gonna go. I just hope they keep the humor staying true to the series, but who knows? At least it's not a Shyamalan series, but overall, I am perfectly hype about this. All right, let's see what else we got. As someone who loves the original animated series, this honestly really impresses me. The visuals are beautiful, the action scenes are amazing, and the bending looks incredible. The acting is solid, and the characters seem like they are staying true to the original series. So overall, I'm very excited for this, and hopefully it won't end up like the 2010 movie. Hey, chances are, even if it doesn't meet up to the hype, like, trying to be better than that 2010 film, it's easy to go and achieve. Anyways, let's see. I'll be honest, I haven't watched the entirety of the animated Avatar series, and I don't have yet a Netflix subscription, so I'm not sorry for missing that live-action iteration. Also, I concur that my favorite Avatar crush, Azula, looks fine at the 31st second mark, but who's the lady at 119 mark? Just curious. Good question. Hold on, the 30-second mark, do we have right over here? Hold on a sec, just need to go in advance. No, that's not Azula. Where would be, oh, I think maybe she's right there, or did you say the 31st second mark? Oh, I was like, there she is. Oh, there she is. Oh, okay. Not bad, cute. I can see the charm of it. Then there's another woman. This one right over here. Definitely more sinister. But still, not bad. I actually, definitely hot. Honestly, I'm not sure who this one may be, so I don't know. Maybe you can confirm that in the chat wall. So we'll see what we got. Anyways, speaking of the chat wall, let's bring this back. Let's see what we got here. Honestly, I don't know what to say other than the fact that it looks pretty impressive. Like, the visuals look amazing, and the cast seems to be on point. Except maybe Sokka, like, I don't know, he's trying, but I find that he's no Jack Decina. Overall, let's not jump to conclusions if this might turn out to be a masterpiece, but I'll say this has my attention, and I guarantee I will give this a watch when it comes out. My anticipation really glows, and for sure, eat your heart out, Shyamalan. All right. Someone is saying that apparently that's a character. Oh, it's June. So everybody is pretty much saying that it's June. Okay, gotcha. So this is the live action version of June, people. Got it. Okay. Any other comments? I think I'll just read one more before we go on our first break. This second trailer looked promising so far when it comes to the to the action and the visuals, but you're right though, I am concerned about the humor and the personality of the characters that I want to see, but I do hope it actually does display when it comes out. All right, and Yeah, you know what? Let's go and have one more comment here. Let's just go and fit this one in. This looks like a fun ride. Surprised, but I'm glad it's more of a Netflix rated T for teen, appropriate for viewers ages 12 and over. May contain mild violence, language, and or suggestive themes. So the show is going to have a lot more darker vibes, similar to the comics than the visual show. So I'm definitely going to check this out. The first 2 episodes before judging. Alrighty then. And I see a lot of people are already simping for June, and I mean, yeah, I don't blame you there. Alright, so if you guys are excited to go and check out the live action Avatar series, and I definitely don't blame you, it looks pretty unanimous that the hype is definitely on for this, so keep in mind that it will be coming out on February 22nd on Netflix. And we are going to go on to our first break, and while I'll be behind the scenes trying to make sure that I can fix and hopefully get the chat wall revived again, we will be right back, and then we will talk about another trailer that came in a bit at the last minute, but oh boy, did I get a lot of messages of people asking me, what do I think about it? So stay tuned! Okay, so did it work? Fudge nabbit. Nah, unfortunately. I don't know, maybe on the next break I'll try to do something else. I try to fix it to see if the chat wall can come back, but I guess once again I'll try to work with what I can. So apologies for the little technical errors that I'm having, but you know, the show must go on, and you know, we might as well keep the ball rolling. But anyways, now it is time that we shall go on to our next story, or more specifically, the next trailer that we are going to talk about. And when it comes to this one, I think it is safe to say that it was quite a surprise. In fact, on the day, as I am recording this, it actually came out the day before, like right now. And from there, it was honestly kind of, like I said, a bit of a shocker. Like, nobody was expecting that, oh, okay, they're just gonna drop this immediately. And I kid you not, throughout Sunday, I've had many people just messaging me and asking what do I think, and just really sounding the alarms that, hey, look, we just got our first major look at this movie in particular. So, you all want to know what do I think? Well, I will tell you, but first of all, we are going to have to go and check this trailer out. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out our next trailer for the upcoming animated feature and the 4th installment of one of the biggest animated franchise, Despicable Me 4. And that is Despicable Me 4, to which the movie is going to be coming out on the big screen July 3rd. Now, I just want to go and start things off by giving out a little bit of context regarding my thoughts on the Despicable Me films in general, because I know that is often a massive subject that many people will talk about, and that throughout the years, the series has gained varying opinions. And I will say that, personally, I actually do like the Despicable Me films. I would actually consider myself a fan. I'm not too big on the Minions films. Like, at best, I do find both the 2015 Minions and The Rise of Gru to be okay, but when it comes to Despicable Me 1, 2, and even 3, I actually find them to be among the better, if not the best, of the Illumination films. The first one was very heartfelt, it was really funny, and it was very enjoyable to watch. The second one, I actually do find to be a bit better than the first, and that there's a lot of fantastic moments in there. I had a blast with the second film. And then the third movie, I would personally say that it's not as good as the first or the second, but I still find it to be enjoyable. Like, it still has that signature charm that Despicable Me would go and deliver, you know? I do find that it actually is pretty enjoyable. It actually is pretty nice. So overall, yeah, I am definitely a fan of these Despicable Me films. But then when I heard that there was going to be a fourth one, even I felt a little bit iffy. Even I was there like, I don't know. Like, I just felt like, yeah, I am satisfied with the 3 Despicable Me movies that we had, but I feel like it would be a bit much if we would go and try to push for a 4th movie. I just don't think that it would be necessary, and I would rather if Illumination would go and try to do some other features and maybe give the Despicable Me films a break, especially with the fact that they just keep on pushing more and more Despicable Me content again and again. And I know some people would argue that, well, technically it's going to be about 7 years since the last Despicable Me movie. But then again, we still had a bunch of other Despicable Me content. Like, we still had the Minions, and we had Minions Rise of Gru back in 2022. And then just recently, actually, we had that animated short Mooned with Migration, where we had Vector's comeback, and then we had a bunch of other Minions at the same time. So again and again, we would keep on being reminded of the Minions. And this is not even to mention when we had the Illumination logo, where the Minions always show up, rather it be like not just in their own films, but also like in the Super Mario Brothers movie, or in Migration, or The Secret Life of Pets, or Sing, and stuff like that. It's like every year we need our dose of Minions on the big screen, no matter what. Like, it's becoming a lot more frequent than the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse. So yeah, honestly, it just feels like eventually there would come a time where, like, I feel like we might need a break from the Minions and Despicable Me in general, but I don't know if making a 4th feature would really go and help. I feel like, I don't know, it's just that Despicable Me feels like a franchise that's getting closer and closer to something that people might end up developing franchise fatigue. But then the 4th trailer suddenly came out, and then suddenly when Illumination gave out a lot more info as to what's going to be going on in the film, even, like, honestly, my doubt was growing, especially when we saw the first image of Gru and the new significant character, Gru Jr. And at that point, I was like, crap, are we really doing this? Like, now Gru and Lucy are going to become new parents, or, well, I mean, like, with parents to a baby on top of the triplets that they have adopted, or that, well, technically Gru adopted, but you get what I mean. Like, now there's going to be a baby that's going to be involved, and there's just a part of me that's so worried that we might end up with something like, we might end up like with Chicken Run 2, where we are going to see the characters, the characters that we are all familiar with. Now they're just going to turn into concerning parents, and that, they're going to be overprotective, and that, they're going to go and try to do what they normally do in order to go and protect their kid and all that kind of stuff. Like, already it just feels like, I don't know, the writing is never top notch with these Despicable Me films. It's never like their most admirable attribute. But I feel like in this case, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be something that might be considered among the better Despicable Me films, or among the better Despicable Me moments. But then I actually did see the trailer in its full, and I gotta say that honestly, and it's not, I don't think it's going to be terrible. And I would say that at best, it looks like it's going to be something that will be fine. Like, I don't necessarily get much in terms of the characters, or in terms of what we may have in terms of the story. But I will say now, there are some things that I actually do like, that, they actually do look pretty solid. Like, first of all, the action, because of course you would get that cartoony action that Despicable Me is known for, and that what they are very much beloved for. Like, we would get like the heist scene that's going on right over here, where like we got Gru, 2 minions, and we got this we got this new girl. I'm not sure who she is. Considering that, like, we already got like it's none of the 3 girls, so I don't know who this new character is. Like, a lot of people are now saying it's Her name is Poppy, apparently. Oh god, are we getting? Oh god, we're getting another Poppy. Oh god, like I just went through. I don't know if I want another animated Poppy. I just had more than enough with Trolls Band together. I don't know if Illumination is going to help out that we're gonna get another cartoon Poppy. But yes, apparently we do have. So like we got this heist scene that's going on, and of course like we're getting more new villains, and apparently like of course we're getting Gru like trying to dodge this badger, and already I don't know, like yeah, it looks like we got some cute moments, but then again I feel like it's kind of repeating itself, like you know, it's similar to like when Gru was fighting off against El Macho's chicken. But then also like when we do see the villains, like the old lady, for example, where is it? Yeah, there we go. Like this, yeah, the old lady with the pimped out wheelchair. Okay, that is pretty cute. But then there is another villain, and this is the one that really grabbed a lot of people's attention. And where is he? It's the new French guy. Yep, right over here. This is our new villain of this movie, Maxime Lamal, and his femme fatale wife or girlfriend? I don't know. Like, I know they said it in the description, but I will get it to there soon. But the big thing about Maxime over here is that he is going to be voiced by none other than Will Ferrell. Yes, folks, we have now come full circle. Megamind himself is in a Despicable Me film. And with his femme fatale, let me just check out the description because they did say over here, apparently is his, femme fatale girlfriend Valentina, who is going to be voiced by Sofia Vergara. And just to give you a little bit more of a description, because I feel like it didn't really show much, like, they didn't show much of the story in this trailer here, to which it says, following the 2022 summer blockbuster phenomenon of Illumination's Minions Rise of Gru, which earned almost $1 billion worldwide, the biggest global animated franchise in history is now begins a new chapter as Gru and Lucy and their girls Margot, Edith, and Agnes welcome a new member to the Gru family, Gru Jr., who is intent on tormenting his dad. The film, it says here, Gru faces a new nemesis in Maxime Lamal, played by Will Ferrell, and his femme fatale girlfriend Valentina, and the family is forced to go on the run. And on top of that, we also got a whole bunch of new voices as well, in which we got Joey King, in which the chat wall did confirm that it is going to be played by she is going to be playing the new character Poppy. There's also Stephen Colbert, who's going to be featured, Chloe Feynman, Pierre Coffin, of course, he's going to be coming back to be the Minions, and also Steve Coogan, who's going to be playing Silas Ramsbottom. Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, of course, he's back as well. So yeah, of course, this is also going to be another feature. And honestly, I'm surprised we barely even got much, like, considering that they are going to be playing a significant role here, I'm surprised, like, this trailer in particular didn't really show much of this character. In a way, they're kind of, like, highlighting a lot more on the baby of Gru Jr., which, Silas. Some people are telling me it's pronounced Silas. I don't know, the most that I remember is from Despicable Me 2. Like, the only thing that's emphasized is just bottom. Like, I know it's a dumb joke, but honestly, it's like, it's still funny. It's like, bottom. Anyways, yeah, bottom. We all know bottom. But also another thing that I want to go and emphasize, one thing that I actually do like, of course, is the Minions. And no matter what, with these Despicable Me films, you can always rely on the Minions to go and deliver a laugh. Again, I know that Despicable Me, at least in my opinion, is not as strong as the other two films, but the greatest moments in there are the Minions. Oh my god, they are like, the scenes with the Minions, especially in prison, like, they are debatably some of the funniest Minion moments in all of the Despicable Me movies. Like, they were funny as heck. And even in this, honestly, I will say the funniest moments are, once again, with the minions. And my personal favorite moment is actually with, it's the scenes when you see them with the vending machine. Like, even this part right over here when you got one minion who is stuck. Like, this part I gotta say is funny.
Look up.
Like, okay, like, it's stupid. I do agree, but it is also pretty funny. That, and also, like, you also got the ending bit where you also got, like, a follow-up joke. Like, even that part, I gotta say, is good. Like, that is also pretty good as well. So, one thing I will say is that at the very least, hey, you can always rely on the minions to go and deliver some good laughs in the Despicable Me films. And it looks like, at least with this trailer, they are promising that as well. So, I would say that overall, I don't think this is going to be as good as the other Despicable Me films. Like, I have yet to be convinced that, you know, they will deliver much on the story or build up on the characters. And even with the addition, like, honestly, with the addition of Gru Jr., it doesn't really do much for me. I even see in the chat while they're saying that it looks like a discounted Jack. And I mean, I don't blame you there. Like, you look at the, like, even when you do look at the baby, yeah, it kind of, like, especially with the hair, it really does look like Jack in a way. But still, though, I don't think it's going to be terrible. I don't think it's going to stoop the franchise low to the point where it'll end up in a similar position to either, like in Ice Age 5 or in Hotel Transylvania 4, where it ended off on such a disastrous note, like almost embarrassing how bad that they ended off their respective franchises. But I will say, like, a lot of it seems to be fine. Like, the animation still looks as solid as ever, and it looks like there's going to be some fun, creative action, especially with the new villains, and of course, it will deliver on some nice humor. So, overall, I mean, I'm not going to be highly optimistic. I don't think it's either going to be the best or the worst, but, you know, it might be fun. Like, that's what I'm hoping for at the very least. Like, I'll watch it, and it'll be fun, and it'll deliver some nice laughs. So, if you are interested in checking out Despicable Me 4, then keep in mind it will be coming soon on the big screen, July 3rd. So, keep an eye out on that. Now, with that said, excuse me. With that said, I now would like to go into the chat wall, and it's time that I like to ask you all, what do you all think about Despicable Me 4? Or what do you think about the trailer that we got over here? Did you guys enjoy it? Are you guys excited for Despicable Me 4? Or did it not convince you and yeah, you're just gonna go and give this a pass? I would love to know what you all think. Alright, let's see what we got. I will say I enjoyed the Despicable Me trilogy just fine. Not one of the greatest films ever, but still had fun with the 3 movies. And now that we got our first taste of the film, I kind of feel iffy about it. There are quite a few great moments that I enjoy, but others I think they're just okay. I'm hyped to see the Gru versus Megamind battle finalized, though I don't like how Gru Jr. looks like Jack. I think it'll be a good watch when the film comes up. Also, what will and the comment unfortunately just stops there. Okay, anyways, let's see what other comments. Well, he finally did it. It took him 14 years, but he finally got some Grussy. Oh god, please do not say Grussy again. No, we do not need any Grussy here. Anyways, but aside from that, this trailer looks good. The baby shtick looks like it might wear thin fast, but the action is great. The minions are still funny when they're minioning all over the place, and due to the main villain being voiced by Will Ferrell, we're finally getting the Gru versus Megamind showdown our society deserves. I'll give it a watch, but not before I rent my best tux. Gentle Minions Part 2, baby! Oh, that's also going to be very interesting. Are we going to see the comeback of the Gentle Minions? That I want to know. Okay, let's see. Don't disappoint us, TikTok! Alright, let's see what else we have here. As someone who actually grew up, pun intended, and has been a longtime fan of this franchise since the first movie back in 2010, I am very excited to see this film. I can't wait to finally witness the long-awaited battle between Steve Carell's Gru and Will Ferrell's Megamind / Maxim Lamal. I will definitely be seeing this in IMAX on opening day. Bring on the despicableness. Is it going to be on IMAX? I mean, like, well, honestly, I can imagine so. Like, it's a big name franchise, and there's, like, a lot of hype for it, so, maybe, who knows. Let's see now. I will just be honest, except for the Mario movie and maybe the first Despicable Me, Illumination has never made a good movie. Oh, dang. And this doesn't look terrible, but it ain't good, that's for sure. Hotel Transylvania 4 and Ice Age 4 are better than this, and those suck too. And at least that had Ninja, and the latter had good animation. I'm on Team Martin Thomas, and I hate everything. You mean you hate everything in Despicable Me? You cannot just end your sentence with just, I hate everything. In general? F the Minions. Also, there have never been anything good with the number 4 on it. Banana. Love your work. Oh, dang. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, like, I can understand, like, that's why I said at the beginning there's like varying opinions on the Despicable Me franchise, and if you're not a Despicable Me fan now, then I don't see how Despicable Me 4 will win you over. So, yeah, that is one criticism that I do agree, and I can see where it might falter. Like, this is gonna be a case where it's for Despicable Me fans and for Despicable Me fans only. Anyways, let's see what other comments what we have here. I'll go with this one. Let's set the scene. As I was sitting in my bed in a normal Sunday evening, I look at my wall questioning everything about my life, watching the Despicable Me 4 trailer, and having one knowledge stuck in my mind. Gru actually went despicable in bed and have a blood child for his own. I was shaking, crying, throwing, knowing that my childhood hero since 7 has more pipe than me, and I was terrified on that thought. Anyways, the trailer was good, but Norm of the North is better. Oh, dang, man, what's with the bed? When people roast, they roast. And I mean, like, I know, like I understand, like, the virgin mindset. We've all been there, or some of us have been there, that, you know, one day you do hope that eventually you will get laid. But I mean, like, hey, I mean, like, if you were, you know, if you've been a fan of Gru since you were 7, it sounds like you're still very young. And I mean, you still got your whole godforsaken life ahead of you. So be patient. And I mean, eventually your time will come soon. And I mean, we've seen a lot of other characters who are far worse. I mean, if Johnny from Hotel Transylvania, who I consider to be one of the worst cartoon characters in history, is able to get laid with someone like Mavis, whom the internet simps over like crazy, then you could probably get a chance that you'll get laid too. So I'm just saying, that's your motivation for this episode. Alright, so we'll go with one more comment, and maybe we'll go with 2 more comments, actually. Let's see what we have here. Congratulations, Boo. Congratulations, Boo. Anyways, congratulations, Gru. We have finally reached to the 4th film, but with a new baby? Insert stop record sound effect here. Oh, sorry. That's my cue. Yeah, I think we reached into sitcom levels of storytelling by adding a new baby in it, Gru Jr. Yeah, I think I'll keep an open mind on this, as I actually do enjoy the Despicable Me films. I do think we could see something pretty good or pretty bad. I know for a fact it will be a hit no matter what, in terms of the box office. Also, the aspect ratio is back to widescreen 1.85 format. From, okay, and then well, I guess the comment kind of stops there. Alright, let's see, we'll go into one more comment. As someone who is a fan of the Despicable Me movies, this might actually be a decent addition. The action scenes look fun, the humor, especially coming from the Minions, seem like a lot of fun, and the fact that we have Will Ferrell who voiced Megamind, so overall, this could be fun. Although I have to ask, how have those girls never aged, and where is Gru's brother? Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, considering that now time has passed, it's been like now that we've reached a point where Gru has a baby right now, like, there, you know, like the girls must have grown at some point. Like, you can't go like Simpsons or Pokemon where like they stay young forever. And I know that is a criticism that a lot of people have brought up. Like, what happened to the climax of Despicable Me 3? And what happened to Drew? And there is a chance that maybe they're going to go and answer that question, or maybe they'll go into the route of Chicken Run 2, where they're just not going to bother answering any questions about the predecessor, and they're just going to move forward with the new child character that they may have. But anyways, if you are excited or not about Despicable Me 4, it is very interesting to see the varying opinions that have been brought up. Then keep in mind that it will be coming soon in theaters July 4th. And we are going to go and take another break, and hopefully I will go and try to fix the chat wall this time and see what else I could do in order to revive this thing over here. But when we do come back, we will go and talk about some movie news, some announcements for new animated features that at first they might sound bizarre, but they may have some potential. And I just realized we're going to go in a very smooth transition because we're going to go from an Illumination movie to one of Illumination's key players. So stay tuned for that. And we are back. So on to the next story that we have over here. And with this one, and unfortunately it doesn't look like I'll be able to fix the chat wall for this episode. Yeah, so sorry guys. I've tried to go and restart and try to, set everything up in order to make sure like maybe there's some things that are not working out, but yeah, it's just some stupid technical difficulties that have unfortunately kind of plagued a bit of this episode. Again, I'm going to do my best to try to work with what we got, but I don't know, like, better luck for the next episode. But anyways, moving forward to our next story over here, we actually got a couple of movie announcements, and at first they sound like very strange excuse me. They sound like very strange concepts. But in this case here, though, the more I do think about it, and the more that I look into, like, who's involved, who's working on it, I feel like there might be some very strong potential. And this is especially this case here. Now, I know you'll be taken aback at first about this kind of odd idea, but the more you look into it, the more you see what direction they may go, the more it may sound like, yeah, maybe we might have to keep an eye out for this. And what I'm talking about is in regards to Pharrell Williams. Yes, Pharrell Williams. And you probably do know who Pharrell Williams is. The popular singer, popular music artist in general. The reason why before I said that it's going to be a very smooth transition from Despicable Me 4 to this story is because you have absolutely heard of a Pharrell Williams song, considering that he is a major collaborator with Illumination and has even provided a lot of songs for the Despicable Me movies, including writing the song Happy. So yeah, Happy is his song. So you've definitely heard of a Pharrell Williams song before. But anyways, going back to my story here, yes, Pharrell Williams has recently announced that he is going to be making a new biography in which he will be taking his life and he will be turning that into a feature film. The catch, however, is that this won't be just any biography. Apparently, it's going to be all animated with Legos. In fact, he actually made an announcement on his Instagram right over here, along with a poster and even a confirmation that he's collaborating with the Lego group and Focus Features to be making this film. To which he states right over here, just reading directly from Pharrell Williams' post, he states, "Who would have thought that playing with Lego bricks as a kid would evolve into a movie about my life? It's proof that you could do it too," along with a hashtag of the title, Piece by Piece. So that's what the biography is going to be called. And on top of that, by the way, not only has it been confirmed that it already has a director, which in this case is the Oscar-winning documentary filmmaker Morgan Neville, but also we have a release date, and it's going to be coming out later this year on October 11th. And we do have a couple of quotes that I would like to read you here. The first one is going to be from the chairman of Focus Features, Peter Kujawski, in which he states, Pharrell Williams is a true trailblazer whose influence across music, art, and fashion continuously reshape the global culture with an undeniable sense of joy. In partnering with the inimitable Morgan Neville and the limitless creativity of the LEGO brand, his visionary spirit comes to life in a wholly unique and uplifting way that will inspire everyone to dance, to sing, and to use their voice to build the world they want to see, brick by brick and piece by piece. Now, we also got another quote here, this time from Morgan Neville, in which he states, 5 years ago, Pharrell Williams approached me with the idea of helping him tell his story through LEGO animation. It was one of those rare moments where I knew in a second that this was a journey I wanted to go in. I'm grateful to our partners at Focus Features and at the LEGO Group for their belief in our crazy mission. We assembled an incredible team of creative collaborators to help make a new type of film. I can't wait for people to see it. And yes, that seems to be the big thing, that we're getting a biographical feature of Pharrell Williams, and it's going to be completely animated, all told with Legos. Oh, and I just noticed, like, just from the reflections in the bottom, like, you see, like, it's the regular Legos, and then, like, the Pharrell Williams Lego right underneath is actually the real Pharrell Williams. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. Pretty clever right there. So yeah, I do understand that it all seems rather bizarre. You know, the fact that you got Pharrell Williams and that, okay, it's one thing that, you know, he wants to do a biography. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. That's understandable. Okay, you want to do that? Go right ahead. But suddenly he wants to go and make it a Lego movie? And it's interesting to note, by the way, that technically this is also going to be the first animated Lego movie after the Lego's time with Warner Brothers. So that's also worth mentioning, by the way. I know that the Lego Group has some plans to make more Lego movies, but I believe that they have signed on a deal with Universal to go and make those features. But I guess now they got new plans going on, and they want to go and team up with Pharrell Williams. And actually, you know, it's very interesting to note that, considering that according to Morgan Neville, he stated that apparently it was 5 years ago that Pharrell Williams talked with Morgan in order to go and make this movie. And it's interesting because technically, the time when the Lego Group decided to split ways with Warner Brothers because the Lego Movie 2 turned out to be a box office bomb was actually back in 2019. And now that we're in 2024, that was already 5 years ago. So maybe Pharrell Williams already like took action in order to go and make this movie after the whole Lego Movie fiasco at Warner Brothers. That after that divorce right there, that was Pharrell Williams' opportunity to go and jump in and say, I know what to do. I'm going to do a biography, and I'll do it all on Legos, and I don't have to deal with Warner Brothers with that. I mean, it is a theory, and I could totally be wrong, but I feel like the timeline kind of makes unusual sense. Oh, and, actually, no. I was thinking about one thing, like, oh, wait a minute, there's also the people who are going to do the animation, but no, that has actually not been confirmed. That is actually going to be on the next story. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about with Pharrell Williams right over here, with the whole story with what's going on. Yeah, now, I know it seems rather unusual that you would have Pharrell Williams where suddenly he wants to go and make an animated Lego movie about his own life. But honestly, when you think about who Pharrell Williams is, it kind of does make sense in a way. I feel like there's a part of it where it would seem like that's a thing that Pharrell Williams would do. Because if you don't know, Pharrell Williams, as much as he is a creative genius and as much as he is a very good businessman, he's actually a big kid at heart. Like, this is someone who has never let go of his childish side and just enjoys being a kid regardless of what age he would be. And a perfect example of that is the fact that there was at one point when Pharrell Williams actually had a SpongeBob SquarePants themed birthday party. Now, I know some of you might go and say that, well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter because, well, Pharrell, many kids would have SpongeBob themed birthday parties. Yes, that is true, but I bet you never had a SpongeBob themed birthday party when you turned 41. You know, that was the major thing, and he really went all out. In fact, let me actually show you. There is actually evidence of Pharrell Williams. Hold on a sec. SpongeBob birthday party. Like, there's actually some legitimate proof. Like, you see right over here, like, I'm just doing a Google image search, and you see, like, here you got Pharrell with his over-the-top Mountie hat, and, like, he's got this big SpongeBob party, and, like, he's hanging out with, like, mascot characters, with, like, you see Patrick, you see the whole gang is here with Squidward, Sandy, you got Patrick here, and, like, there they are, Pharrell Williams' 41st birthday party with SpongeBob himself and Patrick. Like, you know, and I'm not dissing the guy, by the way. Honestly, who would not want this kind of birthday party? Like, yeah, all in big letters, happy birthday, Pharrell. You know, who wouldn't want this big SpongeBob-themed birthday party when they would turn 41? Like, honestly, I'm not saying this to make fun of him. I'm, like, kind of jealous, honestly. I would love to be at the point where I would, you know, like, I would be wealthy enough to actually go and make this big, lavish SpongeBob-themed birthday party and even have, like, this SpongeBob cake. Like, where it's like, you got a Krabby Patty, you got SpongeBob and Patrick, where now his head is on his body, and his head is, like, the Pharrell Williams hat. You know, honestly, I would be down to have that. I definitely would. But anyways, yeah, this is just to go and to emphasize that, Pharrell Williams is a major kid at heart, and it would make sense that he wants his biography to be a bit kid-themed, or in this case, to do like this Lego movie style biography. But I am going to say this, though. I honestly feel like with this biography, I think this is something that we need to keep an eye out on. And this could actually turn out to be, unironically, a very solid film. And the reason why I say this is actually because of the director who they got involved with, which in this case is Morgan Neville. And for those of you who don't know, it says here that Morgan Neville has already won an Oscar for his movie 20 Feet from Stardom. But one feature that maybe you are familiar with, something that he has done that has gathered a lot of love and a lot of praise, is his biography on Mr. Rogers. You may probably remember a few years ago about a documentary called Won't You Be My Neighbor? And that was something that many people who have seen it, they loved it. They say that it was heartfelt, and it's hard to actually go and find someone who has seen that documentary and has not shed a tear. And honestly, when you look at his history, when you look at what Morgan Neville has done, like with his credentials and stuff like that, he is able to go and make some great stories. And from there, I feel like, you know what? This is the perfect guy to go and make a biography. If you want to tell the story about your life, yeah, you absolutely would need to go and get someone like Morgan Neville. And from there, I feel like, as crazy as this may sound, this biography about Pharrell Williams that's all going to be told through Legos, I think we may have something special. I think this could actually turn out to be something heartfelt, to be something inspiring, and this could actually be great as well. Now, how is it going to be executed? How is the animation going to be? Are they going to do like the Lego movie, like in Warner Brothers, where it's going to be CG that's emulating stop motion? Are they actually going to do actual stop motion with real Legos? That I don't know. But still, though, I feel like, honestly, no pun intended, but the pieces are there in order to make something great. I feel like this is something that, yeah, we need to go and pay attention to this. And I feel like, yeah, this could turn out to be one of the big surprise animated hits of the year. So, as weird as it sounds, the more I think about it, the more I feel like this may unexpectedly be one of my more anticipated animated films of 2024. So, yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, I never hated Pharrell Williams, but at the same time, I never really thought much about him either, other than, like, his contributions to the Illumination movies. But still, though, maybe, like, it could be worth learning more about who Pharrell Williams is when this movie comes out. And if you are interested in checking out Piece by Piece and learning more about Pharrell Williams, then keep in mind that the movie will be coming soon to theaters on October 11th. And with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall. And now I would like to ask you all, what do you all think about the idea about a Pharrell Williams biography all told by Legos? I would love to know what you all think. Are you guys excited for it? Do you have any doubts? But we will see. All right, let's see now. This is the first time Universal has done anything with the Lego brand since the deal with them, but this time as a Pharrell Williams documentary animated film under Universal's indie division, Focus Features. I was worried that Universal would waste the Lego group's time with that deal, but about time at the last minute. This documentary sounds interesting, but I'll keep an eye out for it, although I doubt it'll get nominated next year given the Academy's hatred for anything related to Lego movies. Well, I mean, that's a completely different subject right there. But anyways, it's been a while that Focus Features released an animated film, hasn't it? I'd like to check this one out since we are getting more animated documentaries now than ever. That is actually a very good point, and honestly, I love that it's becoming more and more of a thing. I adore Waltz with Bashir, and I really like Flea, so maybe we could get another great one here. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Also, this is another Lego movie. It's been a while as well since 2019, but I don't think it's connected to the main Lego movie franchise that Lord and Miller directed once before, but I'm definitely keeping an eye out on this. Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of the Lego movies, I don't think they'll have any connections to to that Lego movie anymore. Like, this won't be something that we'll see, like, Emmett and Wildstyle and Batman, like, be attached to this. I think this is more just, like, this is going to be, like, a full-on reboot to the Lego movie franchise, if you get what I'm saying. That now that it is under Universal, they're going to do a completely new brand of Lego movies. All right, let's see what else we got here. Good to see the man of Neptune from my hometown, Virginia Beach, working on a movie. It's a little weird, but it's good to see another biopic in animated form. Also, am I the only one who was pissed that Happy didn't win an Academy Award? I mean, it was up against Let It Go, and I mean, Let It Go, like, on one hand, like, yeah, Happy is a great song, but Let It Go, though. Let It Go deserves it, at least in my opinion, so I just want to go and emphasize that. Anyways, I am a huge fan of Pharrell's music, be it his works with N.E.R.D. and the songs from the Despicable Me movies, so I'm down to see a biopic on the guy. But in Lego form, I wasn't expecting that. But as someone who grew up with his videos, with the videos of Forest Fire 101 and Stonebreakers 10, I'm not complaining. Hell, with the fact that we're getting sets on it later that year, will we see a Lego Minion? Oh my god, that is kind of true. I mean, wasn't that already a thing? Like, hasn't there been, like, Lego Despicable Me sets or Lego Minion sets? Or have they done a deal with another company? Like, you probably, like, maybe with Mega Bloks or something, but I don't know. Like, I'm kind of surprised that Lego Minions has yet to actually be a thing. But then again, like, now that the Legos are teaming up with Universal, oh, I'm sure it will definitely be more than a thing. Anyways, let's see, what else do we have here? And, okay, I'll go with, this one, okay. So, this sounds like a very interesting idea, and I respect Pharrell's ambition in interpreting his life with Legos. I'm glad that he has the opportunity to do this idea. I'm glad Lego Group is making it for with him. He might not be the best Grinch narrator, but I'm glad for all the artists. I'm excited for this upcoming documentary. I hope the animators are treated well, though. Yeah, we will see. Well, hopefully they will. And, it's funny that you do mention that. Yeah, I do agree that, but like, Pharrell Williams as the narrator of The Grinch is very out of place. But in this case here, I will give him credit that, okay, now he can be a narrator. This is about his life. So now it will feel in place that he can go and narrate. Like, if you want to go and narrate an animated movie, make it this film, please. Maybe not something like The Grinch. All right, what else we got here? Honestly, this was something crazy that I never expected, but this could work. Having a documentary entirely made out of Legos based on Pharrell Williams could have a lot of potential, especially with having Morgan Neville is definitely promising. So overall, this could have a lot of potential. Also, like you, I'm extremely jealous of that SpongeBob birthday party he had. I know, right? Like, it's so amazing. Oh, let's see now. I think I'll read one more comment before we go on our next break. It does sound bizarre, but the idea does sound interesting or intriguing. I'll be straight. I'm not really big on pop music, but I do like Pharrell's works, especially in his works in the Despicable Me films. And I do love the recent Lego works, despite this not being related to the Warner Brothers films, but I'll say that I'll be interested to watch. Also, the SpongeBob thing, man, how do people like him always get the good stuff? I couldn't even get one when I turned 20. Lucky duck. Yeah, I know. It's pretty wild, but, and I do have okay, so it is a thing. So there is a confirmation. Yes, there have been, there have been some Lego Despicable Me stuff, including, a set of Lego Minions, The Rise of Gru. And I mean, yeah, Lego Mario movie, of course. Yeah, like that is to be expected. But yeah, okay, so far it looks like there is a lot of anticipation and a lot of promise for Despicable Me, for this Pharrell Williams biography. So if you are excited in checking out Brick by Brick, then keep in mind that it will be coming soon to theaters on October 11th. All right, so with that said, let us now go on to our next break. And when we do come back, I got another movie announcement that might sound strange. And funny enough, it's based on another toy line, or that another toy company is working on this. But let's see if this one will have as much promise as the Pharrell Williams Lego biography. So stay tuned for that. All right, folks, now let's go and jump onto our next story that we have over here. And again, we are going to go in another surprisingly smooth transition. We've talked about how the Lego Group is going to be making a brand new animated feature. This time around, they are going to be collaborating with Pharrell Williams in order to go and make his biography. This time around, we are going to go and talk about Mattel. And as you all know, Mattel, oh boy, when it comes to movies, they are in a massive high, and they are really excited for the prospects of feature films, especially when last year they released the most successful movie of 2023, Barbie. And they are hoping that they can go and build that momentum, that they could go and make more films that can be as successful as Barbie. And they got a whole bunch of toys that they would like to go and give them the movie treatment. And apparently this is one of them. But they are going to add a very interesting twist to it. And what I will be talking about is in regards to Bob the Builder. Yes, it has been announced that Mattel, along with Nuyorican Productions, which is the production company owned by Jennifer Lopez, that they are going to be making a brand new animated feature based on Bob the Builder. And on top of that, we also got a confirmation on the animation studio that's going to be working on it, in which it will be none other than Shadow Machine, in which it is the same animation house that would produce many other acclaimed animated works, especially especially on Netflix, including BoJack Horseman and, of course, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And from there, also, it is very interesting to note that this one won't just be any adaptation of a Bob the Builder movie, because what they are going to do here is that they're going to be adding an extra twist where they're going to make it Puerto Rican themed or more Hispanic themed in general. And if you don't believe me, let me go and read you from my source here on The Hollywood Reporter, to which it states that the synopsis for the film reads, when Roberto, aka Bob, who is going to be played by Anthony Ramos, by the way, and he's also going to be a producer in this as well, when Bob travels to the enchanting islands of Puerto Rico for a major construction job, he takes on issues affecting the island and digs deeper into what it means to build. Bob's journey will celebrate the vibrant and colorful textures of the Caribbean Latin nations and their people. They also added that Felipe Vargas is going to be penning the screenplay. And so far, that seems to be all that we know. Like, we got a big list of all the different producers from varying areas. Like, we got Alex Bulkey and Corey Campodonico from Shadow Machine. They are going to be producers. We also got New Yorkers Jennifer Lopez, Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas, and Benny Medina that are going to be producing. You also got Anthony Ramos that's going to be producing. Then you also got like executive producers. But other than that, we don't have much info outside of that. We don't even know who's going to be the director. And funny enough, considering that it is going to be from Shadow Machine, we don't even have a confirmation of what the medium is going to be. Rather it be that they would do another computer animated feature, or if they are going to go and make a stop motion film similar to Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And not only that, but they haven't even confirmed who's going to be the distributor, because it won't necessarily be Warner Brothers. Like, yeah, like they have a bunch of others that they have coming soon. Like, they're already working with Warner Brothers again on a Hot Wheels movie, like it says here. And they also got, oh, excuse me. They got an American Girl movie that apparently will be written by Lindsay Beer that they're working for Paramount. But we don't know where Bob the Builder is going to be. Maybe it's going to be a Paramount movie, maybe it will be a Sony movie, or maybe another Warner Brothers movie, but who knows? But I will say, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that now there's going to be this big comeback of Bob the Builder of all things. But as I've stated before, I think it is pretty clear as to why Mattel wants to go and do this, and that is mainly because they have gone pretty crazy with the Barbie movie. The fact that actually turned out to be the biggest hit of the year, and now they want to turn that hit into a momentum. They don't want that to be just a one-hit wonder. Now they want to go and make more movies that could be as successful, and we've seen that. Now they're going to be doing that with Hot Wheels, and now they want to go and try to do that with Bob the Builder. And would there be ways that you can turn Bob the Builder into a movie? I know it does sound like a very strange concept, and I am aware that many people are probably more familiar with the animated series of Bob the Builder, especially with that theme song of Bob the Builder, can we fix it? Yes, we can! You know, like all that kind of stuff. So, of course, like, this could be something that maybe it's going to tap in onto some nostalgia for some people, or maybe they're going to go and try to do this thing in which they'll do a big update in which it'll be completely unrecognizable from what we know from Bob the Builder. And then again, the latter could be that factor in, because one thing that we do know with this Bob the Builder movie is that it shows that they really want to go and try to make lightning strike twice and turn Bob the Builder into their next Barbie. And a major way that they are trying to do so is that they also want to go and include a social commentary into this. Specifically, the fact that with a social commentary, they want to go and have a discussion in regards to a marginalized group, where Barbie perfectly handled the discussion about feminism and issues that are very disadvantageous for women. What they would do with Bob the Builder now is that they want to try to do the same thing, but with Hispanic culture or with Puerto Rico. And they want to go and really emphasize that. And that's why nowadays we have seen some discussions on the internet in relation to Bob the Builder and race, oddly enough. Like, I think it was a very unexpected thing that people would go and have a discussion in regards to the race of Bob the Builder and stuff like that. You never think that subject would be entered upon with something like Bob the Builder, but then again, here we are right now. And I could see where they're coming from and actually highlight some of the controversial topics in regards to Puerto Rico, discussing not just about the culture, but some of the struggles that the territory is currently facing, and that some of the help that they do need right now, especially when I remember several years ago when there was like I believe like a massive hurricane, or there was a natural disaster that affected Puerto Rico, and it put the territory on a massive spotlight that the place really does need help amongst many of the other issues, that technically it is owned by the United States, but it's not considered an actual state. And there's like, it really put a spotlight on how problematic how the US owns Puerto Rico is, and the fact that they're not necessarily treating Puerto Rico like they are one of their states. There is that entire subject, and there's a lot that you can get into in terms of talking about Puerto Rico. And it looks like apparently they want to go and try that out with Bob the Builder. Now, is it possible to go and make this movie good? Honestly, I feel like yes. You definitely can. Like, if you put it in the right hands, then I could see how you can make something that can feel as meaningful as Barbie. That what Bob the Builder did to Puerto Rico, Barbie did with women. Like, try to do that kind of mentality and try to do that kind of approach and make something very meaningful for that particular group of people. Like, I could see where that goal can be, and if done right, you could do something that's very amazing that does highlight these issues, and that it would encourage more people to go and take action upon it. Okay, that in that part, like, yeah, that is possible, but will they actually go and do so? I don't know, because then again, there is that corporate side in which could actually spoil the mood, in which Mattel is just going to be too excited, where they're going to really try hard to really make this be like, oh, come on, be more like Barbie, do this because it worked with Barbie, so now you could go do that. Oh, like, I don't know, it seems a bit more different than how Barbie would do it, so try to be more like that, like, you're gonna, like, this could be something that I feel like, at the same time, as much as it can work out great, this feels like something that could easily be ruined by executive meddling, and that whole trend of like what Barbie started would immediately collapse in itself. In a similar way of what the Lego movie did. It started off on a high note, but then it only took a few years for all that to just crumble into pieces, no pun intended, and just be left ruined right there. So either way, I don't know. Like, again, maybe there could be a chance that this could turn out good. And then again, I do see some optimism considering that this is going to be coming from Shadow Machine, and considering the stuff that they have done, like BoJack Horseman and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Like, they know their stuff when it comes to producing animation, and maybe they'll do something really incredible with Bob the Builder, who knows? But then again, at the same time, hopefully Mattel won't go too crazy with it and try too hard to try to make this the Hispanic Barbie in a way. So I believe this is going to be something that we will have to wait and see with how this comes out. It's a little too early to go and determine. And yeah, this is more of a case where the idea of this does sound a little bit bizarre, but who knows? Maybe I feel like this is going to be something that could really work out either way. It's either like we could have something amazing, or we could have a potential flop in our hands that won't do much favors for Puerto Ricans as much as it may hope for. So that's honestly my piece on it. I will wish the people making this film the best of luck on this. And hey, who knows? Maybe this is the update that Bob the Builder needs all along. All right, so with that said, now I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you all think? Actually, hold on. Let me just shorten this so that I can have more control. What do you all think about this new Bob the Builder update? Are you excited to see this Bob the Builder movie? Especially if you are a fan, or if you ever were a fan of Bob the Builder, would you like to see this brand new update to the franchise like this, where it's going to be more Puerto Rican themed? I would like to know your thoughts on that. All right, let's see now. I grew up watching Bob the Builder a ton as a kid, so when I heard they were making a movie about it, I was pretty curious. And upon looking into it, I'm still curious to see the direction it'll end up going with. The idea of a Latino Bob is pretty unique and could lend itself to a ton of fun ideas, so I'll keep my eye on it. Also, fun fact, did you know that in the show's US dub, Muck the dump truck went from female in the original to male in the reboot? Muck is canonically trans. Oh my god. Yo, they need to do that they need to do that for the movie. Like legit, like unapologetically present a trans dump truck. I mean, considering that, well, the Barbie movie featured a trans actress, and honestly, I didn't actually know that the woman was actually trans. Like, honestly, the only reason I knew that that girl was trans was actually because a bunch of incels were whining and complaining about it. So, you know what? Like, hey, Barbie got away with it and handled the trans thing very well. And now I want to see that also happen with Bob the Builder. It's like, yeah, we got a Latino Bob, and we also got a trans dump truck. All right. Anyways, this is an interesting interpretation of Bob the Builder, but I feel a little concerned as to the internet's reaction. Mattel seems to wanting to make a mature movie adaptation of their toy lines. Like, I appreciate the positive interpretation of Puerto Rico, but I feel weird about it. Construction worker like Bob is a working class job, and often the job is something immigrants take because the employers want cheap labor. Personally, I think American Girls are better for social commentary. Ooh, geez. Yeah, I do get where you're coming from with that, and I could see the awkward factor that may go into this. Like, maybe this could, like, maybe they would have a nice commentary about Puerto Rico, but it may send in the wrong message about immigration and, like, the work that immigrants would have to do. But again, hopefully that can be something that they could go and emphasize, or they could go and actually address. Because, like, the sooner they can go and approach it, because keep in mind, this whole thing is just announced, but the sooner they can go and address this, and they can go and, like, have this kind of discussion, then hopefully the better it will be. But still, though, like, you gotta give it that it is pretty ambitious, and if they're able to do right, then they can pull out something amazing that, yes, could actually be on par with Barbie. Let's see what else we have here. What other comments do we have? Personally, my only connection to Bob the Builder was when I watched the original animated series when it was on Nick Jr. But this movie could have potential, especially if they would include a social commentary in it, especially how well it worked out for Barbie, and give popularity to Bob the Builder. So overall, this could have potential. Also, I want to see this movie piss off the anti-woke group as much as possible. From what I've heard, they already have. I mean, just the idea that they're swapping the race of Bob the Builder from, like, this bland white guy to a Hispanic. from there, they're already triggered. Like, they're already making their ranty incel videos. So, I mean, that's already a thing. Like, you just have to go and, like, search for it. But then again, don't, because those people don't deserve attention. They deserve therapy. Let's see now. What else do we have here? I grew up with Bob the Builder as a preschool kid, but I am not sure how to feel about this, since there was Handy Manny, and turning Bob into a Puerto Rican, but I like the concept and now I am curious. All right. Let's see now. I watched Bob the Builder as a very little kid, including playing with VTech games through V-Smile back when VTech games were still a thing for kids during the 2000s decade. Making a movie out of it with Hispanic culture and Anthony Ramos being the main star as Bob the Builder does pique my interest. If this movie turns out well, like what happened with Barbie, it might turn out well. Hope it's not too corporate, but I do wish them well in making this happen. All right, that's nice. Let's see what else we have here. Oh no, I know. I've already read that one. Sorry. I believe, yeah, no, I've read you already. Okay. Let's see. This, I gotta say, can they film it? Yes, they can. Lofty says, I think so. I remember watching Bob the Builder as a child when it aired on Nick Jr. As of today, when Valsky Bum released a video about the news, having Bob the Builder, a Puerto Rican, got me mixed. Not trying to be racist here, but who knows? Maybe it might turn out to be like Barbie, but I feel like Mattel is trying too hard to make this film happen. Will it turn out to be good? We'll have to see for ourselves. Exactly. That's why, like, honestly, I don't know what to say immediately. Admittedly, I'm not as optimistic as I was with the Pharrell Williams Lego movie. Because, like, there is a side where I could see how it might end up becoming corporate and that Mattel just really wants another Barbie to make another $1 billion at the box office. But then again, if handled correctly, it could turn out to be amazing, and it can have a great social commentary that can highlight an issue that has been neglected for many years. So, yeah, honestly, like, this could be a case that I feel like it could go either way. All right, I think at this point I'll just read one more comment before we go into our last break. Let's see. Okay, I think I don't think I've read this one. Okay, yeah, there we go. Let's see. I never expect that announcement to come out, but I will say I'm pretty curious about that. As someone who grew up watching both Bob the Builder and Handy Manny as a kid, I'd be down to see a Hispanic Bob and how it'll play out. Again, what an unexpected announcement, but I'm hoping the movie would be better than the 2015 reboot. And considering the chat wall is broken, we must call Bob to fix that. Oh, trust me, I will call upon Bob to go and try to fix the chat wall for the next episode, I promise. All right, so we are going to go on to one more break, and when we do return, we are going to go and talk about one more story, and this is going to be the big one. Trust me, I've saved the best story for last, and we will be returning to award season with the biggest award show of them all, so stay tuned for that. And now, everyone, this is it. It is time that we shall go and cap this episode off with the grand finale, and boy, what a grand finale I have for you today. Because this isn't any ordinary grand finale. We are going to be talking about the biggest news that happened last week. The one thing that had the entire internet talking, and I mean, it happens every year, but oh boy, is this one really special. We are once again going to be returning to award season, and we are going to go with, well, considering this is the grand finale of this episode, we are also going to be talking about the grand finale of award season, to which we shall be looking into none other than the nominations for the Academy Awards. Yes, the Academy has officially announced its list of nominations for the 96 Academy Awards, and the one leading the pack, of course, is Oppenheimer, with a grand total of 13 nominations. And let me tell you, this is quite a competitive year, considering that there are several movies who have gathered a giant chunk of nominations. But before we go and look into those, let us go and take a look at who is nominated for Best Picture. Let me just go and quickly switch here to my source on the Wikipedia article, because hey, I mean, the Wikipedia article here, like, they did a pretty good job listing down everything. And so the nominees for Best Picture this year are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. And in the order of how many movies got a bunch of nominations, I actually do have the list right over here. And like I said before, the one who is leading the entire pack is Oppenheimer with a grand total of 13 nominations, which is just one short of tying up with other films in order to have the most nominations at the Oscars in history. I think the most so far, like, the record is 14. You could correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyways, following behind, we got Poor Things that received 11 nominations. Then we got Killers of the Flower Moon that has received 10 nominations. Following behind, we also got Barbie, who has received 8 nominations. Then we have Maestro with 7 nominations. And then we have American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, and The Zone of Interest, all tied up with 5 nominations. So yes, it is going to be very competitive, and especially a bunch of films that are going to be like going head to head on multiple different categories. But considering that this is AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, we are primarily going to be focusing on the animation categories. So first of which, let us go and see the nominations for Best Animated Short. And they are right over here: Letters to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Now, I just want to go and give out my entire thoughts right now about this Best Animated Shorts category, and I'm just going to say that there is a part of me that admittedly I am a little bit disappointed that Once Upon a Studio did not receive a nomination. It did get pretty close. It did make it to the short list, but it did not make it into the Best Animated Short Film category, which is too bad, but honestly, I'm not as disappointed about it, especially with the fact that technically, well, to be very honest, I haven't seen any of them, so I cannot immediately go and judge and say that, oh, Once Upon a Studio got snubbed, which honestly, I cannot really say because I don't know if the other categories are good or not, Like, I haven't even seen, like, Letters to a Pig or War is Over or Pachyderm or anything like that. I want to wait until I actually do see these animated short films before I can go and place in my full opinion on this. Just to see if, like, they really are that good to get a nomination, or at the very least, to get a nomination above Once Upon a Studio. So, I'll wait until I actually do go and check them out, and I do hope I can get that opportunity to go and actually check those animated shorts soon. But anyways, let's actually go into the big one for animation, which is Best Animated Feature. And the nominees are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I know this one might be a pretty big one. Like, it seems rather shocking that that like we would get like these different speculations and then it would come out like this. And I'm gonna be very honest. Honestly, I'm actually pretty cool with this list. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty solid, and I don't think I would really want to change anything. Like, a lot of my favorites are actually found here, like The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and especially Nimona have all received an Oscar nomination. And honestly, for me, I feel like Nimona is the one that I feel like it has to be mandatory, you know? It's the one that I feel like it's gotta be nominated. It's gotta be, you know, like, did you put in Nimona? That, first and foremost, that has to be a priority. I love that movie. I still stand by that it is the best animated feature of 2023. And the fact that it did get a nomination, good. Even if it's just because that it's the mandatory Netflix movie to go and be nominated, just like how Elemental is the mandatory Disney movie to be nominated. Still, though, the fact that it did get a nomination, that makes me happy. And the priority with the Oscars for me is satisfied right there. But the most surprising addition, the most unexpected one, is actually Robot Dreams. The fact that that movie ended up getting nominated above all else. Like, when I was making my predictions, I was thinking that maybe The Boy and the Heron is going to be filling in for that mandatory independent animated feature. But I guess based on what we have seen with the Annies, in which they consider The Boy and the Heron as more of a mainstream feature, well, apparently that opens up the independent part to go and be filled in by something else. Like, I was thinking that maybe that's going to be filled in with another mainstream film. Either, like, I know a lot of people are saying, like, maybe it would be the Mario movie or Suzume, but I was thinking two of the top contenders for that 5th spot would have been either Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem and Wish. And while they both had equal chances and both are, like, both equally good enough to go and receive that kind of nomination, suddenly, the Academy decided to take a completely left turn and decided to go with a lesser-known independent feature that not many people went to see. And to be very honest, I'm actually very cool with that. The fact that we could go and set aside those mainstream films in favor of giving more of a platform to an indie project that, you know, that many people say deserves to have more attention, honestly, I'm cool with that. I'm very down for it. And I'm honestly very happy to see that Robot Dreams would actually make it this far to actually receive an Oscar nomination. So, in my opinion, I feel like what the Academy did, at least in terms of the Best Animated Feature category, it's actually very cool. And personally, I would not change a single thing in this category. I think, like, all these films deserve to have their nominations. So, right over here, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. But then there is another subject that has to be talked about, and this is the biggest subject that has a lot of people talking, and I feel like more than ever, like, this is a subject matter that it has been growing again and again and again, and it is specifically regarding snubs. And there have been quite plenty that many people seem to be rather upset. Like, I actually have seen, like, even on the chat wall, many people were actually angry of the fact that Godzilla Minus One received a nomination for Best Visual Effects, but nothing else. Like, that movie should have gotten a lot more recognition at the Academy Awards. Or like I've already mentioned about my thoughts about Once Upon a Studio. Many people have felt like that got snubbed as well. But again, I'm just reserving that judgment until I actually do see the shorts list. But then, what is debate? Oh yeah, and there are also, like, some others, including Leonardo DiCaprio not being nominated for Killers of the Flower Moon. But the biggest snub that a lot of people have been talking about is actually regarding Barbie. Yes, it did get a whole bunch of nominations, including Best Picture, but the two most significant ones that didn't get it is Margot Robbie for Best Actress and Greta Gerwig for Best Director. And I know some people would argue that, well, technically they did receive an Oscar nomination where Margot Robbie is a producer on Barbie and she is nominated in the Best Picture category. And then you also got Greta Gerwig, who is nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. So technically that is true. But then again, there is also the factor that even though those girls did not get nominated, Ryan Gosling received a nomination for Best Supporting Actor for playing as Ken. And I'll say now, he definitely does deserve it, But as many people have already exclaimed, this already proves a massive point about what the Barbie movie is trying to say. Like, this is exactly what America Ferrera talked about in her epic monologue in the movie. The fact that women have to work twice, multiple times harder than what men would do in order to get that kind of same recognition. But even at that, that would still not be enough. And yeah, I do agree that it does feel like a major snub, because the movie would not be what it would be if it weren't for Margot Robbie's acting, or especially with Greta Gerwig's directing. Like, especially in that regard, considering that Greta Gerwig did a phenomenal job in directing the feature and shaping Barbie into what it is today. Like, Barbie would not be the beloved phenomenon if it weren't for Greta Gerwig's keen eye in directing, and she deserved to have that nomination. Like, I know it could be debatable if some people would say if she would deserve the win as well, but at the very least, give her a nomination for that kind of recognition. So yeah, I definitely do agree that in terms of Barbie, those were indeed massive snubs. But then there is another snub that I would like to go and talk about. And this is honestly the one that I feel like it's not often talked about, but like, it's the one that I have the most gripe on. And that is specifically in regards to animation. Animation, I personally feel, got massively snubbed this year. And I know this is far from the first time that we see an Academy Awards list in which the only place where you could find animation is in the animation category, whether it be Best Animated Feature or Best Animated Short. But I feel like this was a very strong year in animation, where we could have easily seen animated movies be nominated in plenty of other categories, and yet they don't seem to do so. They seem to just completely ignore them altogether. Like, one great example is that I was expecting that maybe we would see an animated film be nominated in the Best Original Score category, especially when we've already seen some very competitive ones and also some great scores, whether it be from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse by Daniel Pemberton, whom he received multiple nominations for the score of that movie, or even Joe Hisaishi for his work on The Boy and the Heron. Like, that incredibly beautiful score, especially like with that piano tune that he did, that was fantastic as well. But unfortunately, they decided not to go and nominate that and go with the Best Pictures movies and also Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, because, well, John Williams is not, John Williams did it. So let's go and give another recognition to John Williams. And then there's also another one, even though it not only one made it in the shorts list, is Best Original Song. Like, the only one that made it in the shorts list is the song that plays in the credits of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I believe it's called Am I Dreaming? But there were other songs in animated films that I feel like should have deserved a recognition for the Best Original Song category. A lot of people would go and talk about Peaches from the Super Mario Brothers movie, or This Wish from Wish, which I find to be a great song and probably the best thing from that movie. In fact, I would argue that This Wish deserves to have an Oscar nomination more so than Wish would for Best Animated Feature. But no, they wouldn't go and do so. Again, they would just go and give focus to Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, American Symphony, and the Flamin' Hot Cheetos movie. Now, I am not saying that the ones who got nominated don't deserve to have it. They definitely do deserve their spot. But it's just that I feel like it's disappointing that we don't see any more animation. Or even like another one to bring up is actually in Best Visual Effects. Like, this was one that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was actually in competition for. Like, I feel like, like if that would have happened, that if Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse would have received a nomination, it would have legit been historical, in which he would have actually been it would have actually been the first computer animated feature to be nominated for Best Visual Effects. But no, they decided not to do so. And yeah, like there's a lot, there's a lot that were definitely great. Maybe like they would have switched Napoleon with freaking, switch Napoleon with Spider-Verse. Cause like Destiny would lead it to that lamb chop, but I don't know if it'll lead it to that many Oscar nominations, honestly. So I don't know. Like for me, I just feel like this is at the point where it feels like it's almost deliberate that the Academy is just flat out ignoring animated films altogether in all the other categories and just put focus on just on many of the big ones that they feel like deserves massive recognition. Like just, have all, I'm not dissing any of these movies. Like Barbie, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, they're all great. But I feel like the Academy just wants to hog all the nominations just for them and then leave animation with nothing other than the animation categories, and that's it. It kind of feels like when it comes to the Oscars, the Academy views animation as just all the same, and unfortunately, it just makes it feel like they view them as a lesser medium. That it doesn't matter if it's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, or Wish, or Elemental, or Trolls Band Together, or Nimona, or The Monkey King, or anything like that. All animation is just kid stuff. And it really shows this year that they kind of flat out ignored what Guillermo del Toro said last year about how animation is a film medium that should be taken more seriously. It's almost as if it just went right over their heads. So honestly, overall, I just feel like with this list of nominations, as an animation fan, I just feel very disappointed to not see animation be nominated in other stuff. Like, I get it, it is very competitive with other major movies like Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon or Poor Things. But still, though, it just feels like yet another year where animation has been sidelined. But still, though, congratulations to all those who have been nominated, and we will see who are going to be the big winners on March 10th. And with that said, I would like to now go onto the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, what do you think of this year's nominees? Do you guys think, are there any surprises that you have? Are there some that you're happy about? Or what are your personal snubs? I would like to know your thoughts on that. All right, let's see what we got here. I may not care much for the Oscars, but I'm actually satisfied with most of what got nominated this year. There were definitely snubs. It's a shame what happened to Barbie, but all of these movies definitely deserve their nomination. Also, not to brag, but I have actually seen all the Best Pictures nominees. Though Oppenheimer is most likely going to win the big award, it's nice that all the other films got at least one or two. I mean, like, some got 10, some got 11, some got 8, They got a bunch. Well, let's see what else we got. This is possibly the best lineup for animated films since probably 2020. And while I want Spider-Verse to win on an objective level, on a personal level, I really want Nimona to win. As for the rest of the nominees, as much as it sucks that Margot Robbie was snubbed, America Ferrera's nomination was a nice surprise. Actually, I'll get to that later. Wonka was snubbed for Best Song, and while none of the short's titles can outrank An Ostrich Told Me, Oh You Get It, Letters to a Pig is a little close. Good luck to the nominees. Yeah, I almost forgot, actually. I forgot to talk about what would be my prediction on who would win. And yeah, I'll say honestly, I'm going to totally be rooting for America Ferrera for the Best Supporting Actress category because I believe she absolutely deserves that win with that epic monologue. But who I would think would win Best Animated Feature, honestly, I'm like you, JF. On a personal level, I think I would want to see Nimona win. Like, if I would vote, I would go with Nimona. But honestly, if I would have to guess who the Academy would win, or who the Academy would pick to be the winner, I think I might go with The Boy and the Heron. Like, I know it's going to be a toss-up between either Spider-Verse or The Boy and the Heron, but I think The Boy and the Heron might get the leverage because of the fact that it is Hayao Miyazaki. And a big clue of that is with the Best Original Score category. If they would go and give recognition to John Williams for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, because he, you know, like, he's already in his 90s, he is getting old, so, like, give him as much recognition as he can, especially with the fact that he announced before that he was considering retirement. I think they're going to go and try to do the same thing with Hayao Miyazaki, that he's in his 80s, might as well give him another Oscar, you know, like, try to go into that route. That's going to be my honest guess right over there. I could be wrong. Maybe it's going to be Spider-Verse, but I think I'm going to go more with The Boy and the Heron. That's going to be my guess with what the Academy is going to do. You know, it's like a similar reason to what, to why the Golden Globes gave Best Animated Feature to Hayao Miyazaki with The Boy and the Heron. All right, let's see what else we got. I am very disappointed in the Academy for not allowing other animated films to be nominated on other categories outside of the animation category for the second straight year. Sure, there are some big snubs like Barbie missing out on Best Director and Actress, but not seeing Spider-Verse or Heron getting in other categories is so disappointing. They're like the real-life versions of the Spider Society, in which they try to expand to other categories, but only get rejected anyway. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Like, the entire Spider Society is the Academy, and Miles Morales is animation. Although, oddly enough, like, it would have been a bit more perfect. Like, oh, you got the Spider Society as the Academy, and then you got Spider Pig. You got Spider Pig, who's the animation. Okay. Anyways, I will admit that while I'm happy with the Best Animated Feature category, however, I agree with the snubs, like Margot Robbie for Best Actress, Greta Gerwig, and Once Upon a Studio for Best Animated Short, but I absolutely agree that the Academy has a bias against animation. Seriously, they didn't listen to Guillermo del Toro last year. Unfortunately so. Let's see. The number one animated movie that I'm predicting will win the Oscar would have to be Blue Sky's Nimona, even though it's a Netflix movie picked up by Annapurna Pictures. But I still consider it a Blue Sky movie. I was disappointed that that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem wasn't nominated, but that's just the Oscars. They choose whichever they want to nominate. And I have a hard time trying to stream Robot Dreams, but unfortunately, I could not find the right stream for it. Yeah, I think for now, at least in terms of the North American release, they are planning to have that come out in theaters sometime, probably soon because of the Oscars, but I don't know. Like, in terms of other countries, your guess is as good as mine. Good luck trying to find it. Let's see now. What other comments? I have more questions than answers on what is going on. I mean, the Academy are now accepting non-English films, but not animated? I don't know if Janet Yang, the president of the Academy, hates animation, but if animation gets ignored again next year, we should start the Oscars So live action. I mean, I get the enthusiasm, but I don't know if that's gonna have as much momentum as Oscars So White. I'm just saying. All right, I think I'm gonna read one more comment before we go and cap this off. I'm so happy for the animation nomination. I've seen 3 out of the 5 nominations by having not seen The Boy and the Heron and Robot Dreams. As for Margot Robbie snubbing for Best Actress, I think Be Kind Rewind said it best that people feel like she was snubbed because most people didn't watch the movie for the Best Actress noms were in, save for Killers of the Flower Moon. Gerwig should have definitely been nominated. Honestly, my money is on Spider-Verse winning for Best Animated Feature. Okay, I do see a lot of mixed results. Some people are saying Spider-Verse, some people are saying Nimona, I'm saying The Boy and the Heron, but then again, we will see who is correct at this year's Oscars on March 10th. And with that said, that should be it for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Again, I am sorry for the little technical difficulties with the chat wall being silent. I will try to make sure, and that will be fixed on the next episode. But either way, I hope you still have a great time regardless with this episode. And if you would like to go and follow me for more updates and for more episodes of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, then all you have to do is go to subscribe on the AniMat Live Twitch channel and on the AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast YouTube channel. But at the same time, if you want to listen to me, if you would like to hear the audio version of this, then go and follow me on whatever podcast service you're listening, whether it be on Spotify, Amazon, Google, iTunes, and many, many more. All right, so with that said and done, I would like to say thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.